Shalom and welcome back to Israel with Aline. Israel is still at war, but look at how the streets of Jerusalem are now. The city is not in mourning, nor is it afraid, quite the opposite. There are big celebrations all over the city's streets. What's happening here today? I want to take you with me to join the flag march and find out what's really happening in Jerusalem and how all of this connects to biblical prophecies. So if you're ready, let's get started. I just got a little flag too, and the march is about to start. So come with us to see what's really happening in Jerusalem today and what this has to do with the Bible. Let's go. Let's start by understanding why on this particular day there are all these celebrations and demonstrations in the city. Today is the 28th day of the month of Iyar according to the Jewish calendar. And this is Jerusalem Day according to the calendar we use in the West, the Gregorian calendar. The date varies from year to year. I'll also put it here on the screen for the following years. And Jerusalem Day celebrates the reunification of the city. This reminds us of a very difficult chapter in Jerusalem's history. Everyone has heard of the Berlin Wall. But how many of you have heard of the Jerusalem Wall? Not the beautiful walls of the old city, but the wall that used to stand right on this street. In 1948, Jordan invaded this region and they took half of Jerusalem, which until then was under British mandate. And half of Jerusalem, the entire other side of Jerusalem, ended up in the hands of Jordan. People are excited to start the march and actually enter the old city. But what was I telling you? This entire area was in the hands of Jordan, and this entire area ended up in the hands of Israel. And for 19 years, the city remained divided. You couldn't cross from one side to the other. And there were constant shootings from the Jordanian side towards Israel. It was extremely dangerous to be in this whole area. And after 19 years, the city was reunified. And that's why even today, people from Jerusalem, and not just from the city itself, but from nearby towns as well, come here to celebrate this event. But that's just a small part of the real story of Jerusalem Day, which I'll keep telling you as we keep marching. Let's go. The march started in the center of Jerusalem. It's moving through the city's streets and soon will enter the old city. You can already see here beside me, look here with me, the walls of Jerusalem. So we're walking together now toward the Damascus Gate. Let's go. And looking at the flag march, we can see very strong prophetic echoes. If we read the Bible, we can see that the destruction of Jerusalem had been prophesied. And this was fulfilled in the year 70 AD with the destruction of the city and its temple. And the people of Israel were exiled from their land. But in the same way that the prophets spoke of the destruction of the city, they also prophesied the restoration of Jerusalem. They tell how Jerusalem would once again be inhabited, that the people of Israel would return to their land, and that the streets of the city would once again be filled with life. I will bring them out from among the nations and gather them from all the countries, and I will bring them back to their own land. The prophets spoke of the restoration of all Israel, but especially of the city of Jerusalem. Thus says the Lord, I will return to Zion and dwell in Jerusalem. Then Jerusalem will be called the city of truth, and the mountain of the Lord of hosts will be called the holy mountain. Thus says the Lord of hosts, old men and old women will again sit in the public squares of Jerusalem, each one with a cane in hand. Because of their great age, the streets of the city will be filled with boys and girls playing. And I believe that these prophecies are being fulfilled in our time. It is a process that began in 1948 with the beginning of the mass return of the people to their land. And this process has intensified even more since 1967 with the liberation and reunification of Jerusalem.
I'm a tour guide in Israel. I speak Portuguese and English, and I really wanted to learn Hebrew. But no platform actually helped me. I tried all kinds of apps, but it felt like I was learning textbook Hebrew, not the Hebrew real Israelis actually speak. Then I discovered Lingopie, the Netflix of language learning. After work, I usually watch TV, so being able to learn a new language while doing something I already enjoy feels incredibly easy and natural. So now I just watch Israeli TV series and learn at the same time. I can tap on any word I don't know and instantly get a translation with context. But what really changed the game for me is that I finally understand real Hebrew slang, the nuances, the jokes only Israelis understand. Plus, it's got tools built in like flashcards, so you can practice later to better learn the words, not just by reading them the first time, but also by taking notes and even fun quizzes. With Lingopie's double subtitle feature, I've started to pick up more words like manishma. Now I can put sentences together, tell a joke in Hebrew, and make Israelis look at me in surprise and ask, wait, are you Israeli? Lingopie offers 13 plus languages like Spanish, French, Italian, Chinese, and more. If you also want to learn a language in a way that feels real and not boring, try Lingopie today. And since you are coming through my channel, you can get 55% off yearly plan and 7 days free trial. Just scan the QR code or click the link below to start learning today. And let me know in the comments how it's going for you. Israel teaches me every day that history lives through language, and now I can finally speak it.
This march is not only to remember the recent past of Jerusalem, I mean the reunification of the city 59 years ago. Actually, this march is to remember the entire biblical history of Jerusalem, the whole history, especially related to the people of Israel. A story that began 3,000 years ago with King David when he came, conquered Jerusalem, and made Jerusalem the capital of the people of Israel, as it is to this day. I know that there are a lot of people who spread misinformation, sometimes unintentionally and sometimes on purpose. But sometimes we see people saying that Tel Aviv is the capital of Israel, and as someone who lives here in Israel, who lives here in Jerusalem, I can assure you that the capital is here in this city. I mean, the parliament is here, the ministries, the entire government is here. So Jerusalem is the true capital since the time of King David and up to this day. And now the big moment has arrived to enter the old city of Jerusalem through the Damascus Gate. And I want you to take a good look at what's happening around us here. And notice that even after the last 2.5 years of war and conflict, Jerusalem is not discouraged, nor is it losing its faith.
Yes, it's true that the war isn't over yet, but a people who prayed for almost 2,000 years to return to their city won't be shaken by something temporary.
And the Bible tells us that Jerusalem remains central in God's plan. Nothing can shake the faith of the people of Jerusalem, even in times of war and hardship. And we need to keep doing as the Bible commands us. Keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem. I hope you can hear me well because the music, the joy, and the celebration here are amazing. This really reminds us of the Bible passage where after David conquers Jerusalem and makes it his capital, he brings the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem with music, dancing, and joy. And we can really see the people once again going up to the city with music and dancing and a lot of noise too. But the march went through the streets of the city, both the modern city and later the old city, and it ends with its last and main stop here at the Western Wall. And that's not by chance. The Western Wall is a very important place. It is an original surviving part of the Second Temple complex in Jerusalem. And we are here remembering our history, our biblical history. Because the last time the people of Israel could pray here freely was before the Roman conquest a little over 2,000 years ago. And that's why for 2,000 years the Jews were subjugated in Israel, exiled. They spent so much time away. And the people were only able to return to pray freely here in Jerusalem, in the old city of Jerusalem, not in 1948, but only in 1967, right on Jerusalem Day. And that's what we are carrying, our freedom to praise and worship God. And that's why no matter how beautiful and lively the march is, its main purpose is to pray and thank God. When the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dream. And this psalm is absolutely right. For almost 2,000 years, returning to Jerusalem seemed like an impossible dream. During the exile, there were countless persecutions, massacres, and even the Holocaust. All logic pointed to it being impossible for the prophecies of the restoration of Israel and Jerusalem to be fulfilled. But look, we are seeing all of this with our own eyes. Between the year 70 after Christ and 1967, 1,897 years passed. And even after all that time, the word was fulfilled. And not only was the ancient city restored, the city grew far beyond the walls. Today, Jerusalem is the largest city in all of Israel, with more than 1 million inhabitants. And look at what Zechariah wrote 2,500 years ago. Jerusalem will be inhabited as a village without walls because of the multitude of people and animals that will be in it. The energy and joy of the people are impressive. They have been here for hours and hours singing. You can even see that it's already starting to get dark. And this party is really going to go on for hours more, and we're going to watch it until the end, everyone. And now let's go down to join the party, as the prophet Isaiah told us, "Rejoice with Jerusalem and be glad for her, all you who love her." As you can see, they turned down the music. And now it's time for the main prayers to thank God for all the miracles, for all the prophecies fulfilled in recent decades, whose fulfillment is intensifying more and more. Day after day, we see the biblical prophecies coming true here in Jerusalem, sometimes in some slightly different ways, but always with a lot of love for God. So, I hope you enjoyed our slightly different video today, and I'll see you next week.